Oh, I can save no. Oh, I can save no. Okay, no future quotes. Oh man, I have to be honest. This project, just in this process to graduate, it's kind of getting to my energy, to my nerves, to be honest. But it's also because I didn't sleep that well. I kind of feel like hit by a truck, but I still feel very good, like honestly. Now, anyways, today I want to do like a small chart analysis of today's markets and price action on the Euro USD and GU. And one thing before I start, I saw today crypto was like going through the roof. Hold on, I have like too many tabs open. Holy shit. BTC, BBC, and we see today it just straight up, boom, shoot, shot to the moon. To be honest, I was kind of surprised. I didn't know why. Now I think this could be like a reason for it. I was looking for news if something happened. I saw nothing on Forex Factory. Twitter, even when you follow like good sites, they post so many fucking news. You don't know which one could have an impact on it. So I was like straight up just googling, like very stupid as it sounds, but what made market move today a lot. And seems like I felt like there were several news articles about the same thing. Trump has like a new policy or something going on, or at least he has like some kind of beef with the feds, complaining about Powell is like slow, kind of sleepy, and he's not balling at all. Like he should lower the towers, but he's like chilling, stuff like that. And he's trying to figure out if it's possible to kick someone from the Federal Reserve because, I mean, the president nominates like the president from the Federal Reserve, but he's not deciding if he's getting there, or he's also not deciding if he can kick him off, if he's going to leave. The only thing, as much as I know, is that you can usually like nominate it, but otherwise, besides that, it's like a non-government organization at some point, if you get me, or at least, yeah, well, basically a non-government, as much as I know about the Federal Reserve Bank from the United States. Now, long story short, because today he announced, at least he was talking about it, might as much as I understood that crypto is going to get back to the old patterns, the old behavior because of that, like some kind of good high impact news, if you get me. And I mean, of course, it can go completely to the opposite when the Federal Reserve says, fuck you, we keep, either, keep the tariffs even or higher them, and then it can go to the upside completely. But yeah, this is like as much as I know. And overall, when we look, anyways, on the daily, I mean, it didn't break structure. When we look at the weekly, it didn't break structure to the downside on the prominent highs and lows, if you get me. So it's technically still on the uptrend. But anyways, you're not talking about crypto. Fuck that. Right now, we only care about forex because this is going to make me get my McLaren. Sorry. Uh, I'm kind of losing it. Now I'm joking. So let me draw the lines for GU. I didn't do any proper research, proper analysis, except out here for Euro USD. Now today was on a downtrend. When you look on the daily, it was like on a daily bias. Well, I wasn't looking live at the chart because, as you can think, I was working the whole day on this project. But on Asia session, I think it was like most likely on. Yeah, it was pretty much um, bullish. So wait, here midnight, candle open, down now. So okay, so this was like the top high. So I would think the candle wasn't as fat as I would expect. Hold on, let me see how where the candle was when it opens. Wait, actually I think it opened somewhere around there. Okay, daily. Okay, it was even up here. Anyways, now we can see it dropped pretty much. Just means when I would have looked, then it would have been still on the downtrend. But we see this fat ass wick, so this means market started to be shifty pretty early, like before we even get into it, to our session. So it was pretty shifty, quick up. Like I'm pretty I'm very I bet it was this one, this dig up which was caused the wick, but then it just went back. It just went back down, and yeah, then it shifted the daily bias, and now we're in a downtrend. And we know, apparently, the EURUSDs are now pretty, shifty, choppy, iffy. Especially at least when we talk about the daily bias, because it was shifting pretty often. I mean, only look at the wicks, pretty big wicks if you ask me. The Hold on, we'll look at previous days, but yeah, like pretty big wicks. I think you get the point. I think you get what I try to say. Anyways, we have big wicks, so right now, it's pretty, it's like pretty iffy. Now, anyways, I talked enough. Now, overall, when we look on the bigger time frames, we see overall it's still on the uptrend. It didn't broke structure to the downside. It didn't took out this low, or like just break this, just close to below that. It's like still technically on the uptrend. Same, counts same for the weekly and the monthly. When we now zoom a bit more out, what's even going on in the market? Let's look at the weekly. Now it's kind of choppy. We see, this was like a fat ass downtrend. Then it broke structure to the upside, and then went up again, and now that broke structure to the downside. We can assume that's some kind of order block, but it kind of surpassed it, and now it's again a break of structure to the upside. So kind of strange if you ask me. Well, hold on. When we look at this one here, candles close above it, filling out orders in the order block, order clock, and now proceeding to the upside. So I think it will take out. I could imagine it's going to take out this highs, on the longer time frame. But anyways, you don't want to go too far in the future, because we probably won't do any swing trades. I never done that. I'm not planning it. To be honest. Damn, I'm yipping about it a lot too long again. Anyways, now daily buys shifted recently when we were looking on London session, so we would be wants to take shorts. So now we look at this. We look now on the hourly. What do we see on the hourly? Not that much, to be honest. So keep scaling down to the 30 minutes. Now we see on Asia session there was like it was creating new higher highs. It went up. It even broke structure, as we can see right there with this one. It broke structure to the upside, went down again, but then, instead of proceeding to go up, it just kept going down. So it surpassed it. It actually broke structure to the downside. I mean, you see this one was in drawing. It broke structure with this candle, and then with this other block I was writing right there, drawing right here, it tapped into it, filled out a bit of orders, and kept going down. But we see I was like pretty iffy, because there were like few, let's say, liquidity sweeps are more like break of structure, but it just proceeded to go the opposite side, like the opposite. Then usually is on a break of structure, so it wasn't really a break of structure. As we see this perfectly on a 5 minute. I mean, oh yeah, this one. Now this is on a New York session. I usually don't trade, but when we look at this, I mean, technically on a 5 minute, a break structure to the upside, and it's and if you are like very when we look very closely, it not only closes above it, it only taps like a tiny bit into it. But what happens? It's not going up. Actually, it's going down. It breaks the structure to the downside. It takes out this low, and it just rallies down. So on the 5 minute, we don't have like enough confirmation now. So this is the reason why you should never ever rely only on confirmation on the 5 minutes. I never do this. Like when you do this, and no wonder you're losing trades. This is the reason why you should use confirmation and building blocks retracement tools on higher time frames as well. Because then what do you get? Oh, good confluence. And when you have like a good confluence of confirmations and retracement tools on different time frames, and then you just look for forward execution on the 5 minutes, then you're pretty good to go. And not only this, then you're also pretty confident because then okay, you see many confirmations on different time frames, and then you have like a lot of confidence because you know what's like most likely to happen because of this high probability by using the confirmation which you get, which is resulting to the confluence. But this isn't common. This is like nothing. This is nothing new. I mean, this is just literally like SMC, like ICT SMC. I don't know the difference yet, but anyways, it's like just literally the strategy, like using those retracement tools for a high probability, and this is what we want. You want to get high probability if you only are stuck in the 5 minutes. But yeah, now I get too much, anyways. Now, therefore, right now on the 1 hour, I didn't see a lot. When we look now on the London session, well, at the end of London session, when we look out, broader the whole day, it broke structure to the downside when we use, this or this wick and this permanent low. But right now, let's say we are assuming we are right there, London session open. We don't see a lot. What we see, it is kind of choppy. It's kind of consolidating. Let's go to the 50 minutes. Now it's consolidating. Now, what we could use is, let's say, we have this fat dick up, then break structure to the downside, but now it's kind of choppy, like consolidating. So what do we have technically? What do we see? Oh, area of accumulation. And with the daily bias, the little shift from the little daily bias shift to the downside, because look how much up it's going. So it would make sense when there's like this little like down to only proceed with the extension. Then combine with that, daily bias, downside, looking for shorts anyways, going to the hourly, seeing this fat dig up, and then what we can assume, pretty sure liquidity sweep, but it's not happening immediately. Now it's kind of choppy. So what can we assume? Area of accumulation, and then when it breaks that, then probably going down, which is like which happens pretty often, at least what I see. When it's like a Fed movement, then area of accumulation and stuff like that. Now, this is like not very, let's say, very clean to read. I also have to figure out to read this even cleaner, but this is what I watch and also other people were like frequently talking about. But I have to analyze it more. But this is at least what I've saw like most of the time. It's like kind like working out if you also use the other things, the other signs. Otherwise, it's only like when you focus only on this time frame, then you're kind of chopped. But when you are looking out also for the other confirmations, then kind of makes sense because daily bias downside, area of accumulation, blah blah blah. Also, then you just combine the pieces because now we don't only have area of accumulation, we see it already broke structure there, but now nothing happens. It keeps consolidating, being choppy. When we scale down, we see Asia session went up again. Oh my god, I said this so many times. But anyways, it went up again, and now technically on this uptrend, we could take this for the break of structure. But the thing is, we don't have an order block. So, well, we have an auto breaker block, blah, 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 but it's not tapping into it, which concerns me a bit. But um, especially at iffy markets, you shouldn't take it as for granted. But to be honest, I personally wouldn't have traded today with this kind of market because, bro, this is like too iffy for me. But let's say, like, if trying to reach the best out of it as possible. So, break structure to the downside. It's not tapping into it, but it's also neither going up. So it's not also not going up. So um, well, then technically we can also then will you will bro, but I really want to use the breaker block or auto block because without it, when there's a break of structure, then it kind of makes me like kind of nervous. So now, yeah, it goes down. We could have been taking like good profits because it's straight going down. But I mean, when we take the break of structure from this permanent low, we have an order block and it's tapping into it, and then with like confirmation, okay, yeah, with this area of accumulation, with the daily bias and this break of structure and the order block, we have confirmation that it will go down. So Means if it would have gone short in New York session, let's say somewhere around about here, with damn, hard to tell. This for stop loss, and also take profit one, two. No, hold on, what the fuck? Take profit one, Jesus, two, three. Then we have pretty much. But as you can see, this is for my taste. Is way too much, way too big stop loss, because I usually want to be very tight with my stop loss. I mean, I try to use previous permanent highs or lows, depends on my position, for using my stop loss and going slightly above it. So we have like some kind of space in case if it goes a bit up and then back down again if it wants to retrace and fill all this in the breaker block or order block. But you see, it's just way too big, and this just makes me feel super uncomfortable. Like, what the fuck? I mean, look at this. Because when I close this and have like a half or high lot size, then bro, I will lose pretty much, and I don't want. That's the reason why I usually like to have like a very tight stop loss, and usually this works out pretty well. But yeah, again, I usually wouldn't trade today because I didn't even get like an opportunity to to place my position. I mean, look at that. There isn't like even a London session faker that just keeps going down straight. So today was like very iffy, very choppy. No, let's say space for fortunate execution. So I wouldn't trade today. And when we have, if we would take this trade based on this area of accumulation, this break of structure, and this order block, hold on, then this would be also against our trading plan, because this would be in the New York session, and this is nothing. And I never traded New York session. I first have to try this out, but yeah, it's not in my trading plan right now, so I wouldn't take this trade anyways. But yeah, and also take placing the different take profits. How do you want to place it there? I mean, it's just straight going up. I mean, we have like this prominent low where we can have place like the first take profit, closing a part of the position. Yeah, that's chill. Um, and then this one which is super tiny, like what the hell? You barely see it, which is also chill, which is probably going to hit, and also this one. But the thing is, then the risk to the RR is way too. It's way too. The proportion is terrible. You see, this means even if we would have taken this trade in the New York session, the proportion is terrible. I mean, look at this. So overall, today, like, no, rather not. Just if not, then don't touch the markets. It's not worth it, really. I mean, we are all fucking addicted, but you need to be able to learn when just take your fingers off the market. And yeah, now what's up with GU? Because I want to learn how to trade GU, because GJ is like kind of, it's too iffy. I mean, look at that. It's way too iffy right now. I don't want to touch it. It's like too iffy. Like, come on, man. I try to avoid it for now. At least don't. Yeah, this is I think what TJR meant, that you probably want to trade for weeks, and this was hard to believe, but GJ didn't give me one trading setup. So I want to learn GU because apparently this is also pretty popular to trade. So what was going on with in GU? Well, technically we could use SMT divergence, I guess, on GU. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Well, hold on. When we look at EURUSD, well, yeah, we could have we could have used SMT divergence. Hold on, we could have used an SMT divergence on this bad boy, but I don't know. I have never used it. I know how it works, but I never used it, and I think for now we'll avoid it because I don't want to overcomplicate things. Information overload. Avoid that shit as a beginner. And my strategy already works, so I don't want to overcomplicate things. I can do this when I try to adjust certain things, but for now we stick to the things we've learned and which works out for us. Now, what do we see? Like basically also similar thing with the EURUSD. Um, Fed fat extension up, then little leg down, and probably proceeds with the extension to the upside because uptrend, which is pretty clean right there. Now there was like this fat down, and we could technically say, yeah, break of structure, but this is more like area of consolidation, so I don't really take it serious when it's going to break structure with the area of consolidation. Well, what does this mean for us? So we are obviously overall on uptrend, but daily bias is down. Okay, daily bias is down. So let's scale down to the 4 hours. What do we see? It started to tell down on London session. So I think apparently right there was like it was an uptrend. Yeah, it was an uptrend. Opened here, and then it was an uptrend, like a small candle to the upside. All right. But what convinced us to the opposite? Now, of course, we usually trade on the London session, and there's something we've learned. There's like a London session fake out, but again, here's like no fake out, just straight down. So when we look to the hourly, like there's like not really much going on. I mean, 30 minutes, 50 minutes, so we barely see something. Like we only see like this break of structure to the downside, which happens along the New York session or even end of London session. But it's not like it says almost nothing. I mean, we want to take our trade in the London session, but look at this. It's like just consolidating, like more chopping to the downside. So we have like even less than oh my god, we have even less than the other market. So overall, we have like absolute no setup. I mean, we could say, yeah, technically we have like this break of structure to the downside. Oh, look at here. Um, it's got break of structure to the downside. It got into this breaker block in the 5 minutes. What does the 1 hour say? Well, daily is upside, but now it's pretty choppy. Now, oh, it went down on the London session, and we see. Well, technically, hold on. When I see it's when the London session, there's like no London session fake out, and when we see it's like going down, and it starts to shift to the downside. The daily bias, and we see this shit going on. Then technically I think I would enter my trade here. Oh fuck. I would try and enter my trade, I think, right there. Because I would be I just don't have enough confirmation because bro, usually there's like an online session fake out, but nothing is happening. So there's like it's getting back into this order block, nothing happens and it goes down again. And then tries to get up again, but it's not proceeding higher, it actually goes down. So I would technically have entered right off here and use this, as my stop loss, which is pretty chill if you ask me. And then, okay, what is our different take profits? Uh, um, I would, I'd say this low, this low. Nah, I think this would be the world trade almost because we obviously can't take this one as well. Well, we could, but nothing very too clean if you ask me. And we would be even profitable. Yo, look at that. We would be even profitable throughout the London session, but yeah, it's something again. Oh yeah, you could have taken more, but mates, there is like no real London session fake out. It's going down with we expect maybe we'll go up and then again break structure, but dog shit happens, and then yeah, we go down and take out this different flows, and then we would actually be profitable before it goes up again. Crazy. Wait, would it? Okay, it wouldn't take out the would. Wait, hold on, would it? Bro, it's sometimes so hard to be so precise with this shit. Ain't no way. This is so fucking close, but yeah, look how tight this is. Now, anyways, throughout the London session, we would have been profitable, but this is something pretty. To be honest, for me, this trade would be so unsatisfying. This would be so unsatisfying because then right there we would have, have like no, it would be still an upside. Holy shit! Damn. Yeah, this would be a very unsatisfying trade. So overall, I still wouldn't have taken this trade, but yeah, this means today, no, even if I could have, I probably wouldn't trade if I have like the same setup as right have right now. Because you see, dog shit, no trades set up. Dog shit, very weird market is moving. Trump also very unpredictable what he is doing and what the impact this will have on the market. So kind of weird, to be honest, but still. So I think when we figure out certain things, we can ball out of control at least for gold because I think I'm about something new to learn, like supply and demand. Because for me, usually I don't want to overcomplicate shit and use like X strategies. But only for commodities like gold, like this makes sense to me. But anyways, I don't want to fucking overcomplicate things. I will stick to my strategy, my plan, at least for Forex, 1000%. But I will definitely recap certain things just to make sure. Because, yeah, regarding gold, I mean, when I look at gold, it's like either going up or down, nothing between that. So I think overall, the support and resistance will be good for me when I learn this shit because I really liked because back then when I was like trading demo gold back on Match Trader, I really enjoyed myself to be honest. I actually enjoy myself trading gold. I think it's super sick to trade gold. I really like it. I really like it, not gonna lie. I love to trade commodities like gold. It's super sick. But right now, I couldn't use the same strategies to be honest. So I have to, use I think the supply and demand because for me it makes sense when it is at least about gold. But yeah, what do I know? I would say first of all, focus to finish this project, then getting back locked in on trading because then, to be honest, fuck 9 to 5 and fuck my school because then I'm literally free. My life will skyrocket. But yeah, this is the current situation. But what do I say? This is at least today's chart analysis. So quick summary: I wouldn't take any trades. Too choppy, too iffy. No trading setups. Or a very poor confirmation. So this is everything I have to say. Cheers.